I have 2 kids, a son who's 35 and a daughter who's 32. Unfortunately, my son's wife passed away 2.5 years ago, and we were all devastated for my son and their 2 very young kids, male and female, very young grammar schoolers who just lost their mom. Also, they went from being a 2-income household to a 1-income one, buried under a pile of bills. While my son sorted out his finances, he moved into a 1-bedroom apartment near his work in the city, and the grandkids came to live with me, about 1.5 hours by commuter train away in the suburbs. He stays with us every Friday night to Sunday night before returning to the city for work. They've been living with me for a little over 2 years, and I've covered most of their expenses willingly. My daughter's taken offense to this. She thinks since I'm providing free childcare for her brother, I should also do so for her. When she first brought it up a year ago, I gently told her that she was a 2-income, 2-parent household, and she wanted childcare so she could have fun, while her brother had lost his wife and the children their mother, and he needed the help. Since then, she's repeatedly complained about how I play favorites with her brother. I continue to explain that while I love her and her brother equally, her brother's children need my help far more than hers. I still visit, send equally generous gifts to them on birthdays and holidays, and call them frequently on FaceTime. Recently, my daughter said if I wasn't willing to help with childcare, I should be spending an equal amount of money on her kids. She said inflation is hard, and she's struggling too. I again told her I wasn't helping her brother's kids because I just had spare money, or because it was for fun, but because they lost their mother and half of their family income. In addition, her husband regularly sends money home to his parents in India. I told her if they could afford to give away money, my help wasn't a necessity, and rather to fund their generosity. That made my daughter extremely angry, and she said that family helps family, which is what her husband was doing. I tried again to gently explain that if she was struggling, it was her husband's duty to put them first and his extended family second. That went over poorly, and she's been calling me an idiot, and recently even made a Facebook post on how her brother is the golden child and she's the scapegoat. In turn, my son now feels extremely guilty and has suggested taking his children back to the city to live with him so I could go and babysit my daughter's kids. He said he could stretch his budget and get a 2-bedroom apartment to get by. I feel strongly that I'm not biased. Had the same tragedy befallen my daughter and the situation been reversed, I would have done the same. However, my son's offer is making me pause. My husband, their father, fully agrees with me on this. So, am I the idiot? And should I send my son's kids back to him to babysit my daughters? Not the idiot. Family helps family. Just not you. You aren't allowed, according to her logic. The lack of empathy shown by your daughter toward his deceased wife and their children and her subsequent entitlement towards your money is ridiculous. She should rest assured that her parent would aid her in a moment of dire need. Agree. Your son-in-law is sending money to support his parents, and your daughter wants you to give her money to support her family. Why don't you guys just cut out the middleman and you send money directly to your son-in-law's parents? You are the idiot. It's been 2 years, and the situation has gone from whilst he sorts out his finances to this is life now. If your son were a woman, he would have been expected to learn how to become a single parent, with or without help. What you're doing isn't helping. It's taking over. You've allowed your son to turn you into the de facto parental figure. He needs to do it himself, even if it's rough. Right? 2 years? This is not helping anymore. This is abandoned. Your son practically abandoned his children right after they lost their mother. That's sad. The kids need to be with their dad. Weekends aren't enough. They shouldn't have to feel like they're missing their dad too. In major cities, a 1.5-hour commute is nothing. Have the kids had therapy? The longer they enmesh with the grandparents, the harder reunification is going to be. Exactly this. He even said that if he stretched, he could get a 2-bedroom apartment and work it out himself. So apparently, he's totally able to have the children back, but he just doesn't want to make an effort. Why can't this man parent his children? All I can see this ending in is the son meeting someone else and starting a new family, conveniently forgetting about his weekend kids. Your daughter's right. If you're willing to let him be a deadbeat dad, why can't she have some support with babysitting or her occasional needs? My wife, 31, is obsessed with being skinny, even though she's clinically and visibly obese. She's seeing a therapist and a doctor about it, so she's learning to accept her body. I find her beautiful either way, but she keeps asking me whether I think she's skinny or not. I tell her that she's not skinny, but she's still beautiful because I won't support a delusional idea and enable her dysmorphia. Today we were at the mall, and she tried on this dress and was really excited and told me she thinks it makes her look slim and asked me if I agreed. I told her she looked great in the dress, but it doesn't make her look skinny if that's what she was going for. She started crying and screamed at me for body shaming her and never supporting her. Am I the idiot? Not the idiot. I used to ask stupid stuff like that, like whether I looked fat or not, or if I'd lost weight, etc., etc. Instead of answering and being truthful, my partner at the time straight up refused to indulge the question and would not answer, would tell me that they were not going to answer and enabled this behavior. It sounds harsh, but it really helped. I knew I wouldn't get any feedback from asking the questions, so I stopped asking. Eventually, my desire to soothe my anxiety or seek a dopamine hit from asking the question faded away. I disagree. The situation OP describes at the mall is entirely different, though. Something can be slimming and make a person's body look slimmer without that person actually being or appearing skinny. OP, I'm not 100% sure if that's what's happening here. Still, if you're withholding positive comments about your wife's appearance due to the fact that she's overweight, you are the idiot. If you can't stomach the word skinny or slim, find some other meaningful and genuine way to compliment her, e.g., comment on how the outfit enhances a particular feature, if you want to boost her confidence. Of course, you can't expect her to take, "You look good, but you don't look skinny," as a compliment. And that's honestly a really upsetting thing to say to someone you love, especially given the importance she places on being skinny, which you recognize and describe. I have an idea. Somebody's delusional here, and it's either OP deciding his mildly chubby girlfriend is obese, or OP's actually obese girlfriend who thinks she's skinny. Without photo evidence, it's impossible to tell who's tripping and who's not. Maybe the next step should be finding counseling for you, or you both as a couple. My 29 male girlfriend, 25, and I have been together for a little over 5 years. She's rather introverted and doesn't drink or enjoy going out. She'd rather stay in and watch a movie or have a nice dinner. I don't mind doing this sometimes, but having some drinks with my girlfriend would be nice. Unfortunately, it feels like all she does is go to work on her dissertation, go to the gym, and sleep. The other night, I convinced her to go out to some bars. After a while, she agreed, but said she was tired from work and school, so she only wanted to go out for a little while. I was fine with this, but the entire time we were out, she was entirely sober, acting angry, and it was honestly not fun to be around. Finally, I got annoyed and told her her energy was bad, and she said it was just because she was tired, but she was enjoying the music. It didn't look like it at all. We left after a couple of hours. Normally, I stay out until 2 to 3 a.m. when I'm with friends. The next morning, I brought up how she was acting and suggested the next time we go out, she has just one drink to loosen up a bit, and maybe it'll be more fun for her. I also said that I feel weird being the only one drinking, and that it sucks drinking alone. She disagreed and got mad at me, saying that I needed to grow up, and that drinking and partying wasn't everything. I'll admit that I've gone overboard going out with friends in the past, and it's led to arguments that I regrettably don't remember, but I've been depressed, and going out is one thing that makes me feel better. I jokingly asked her when she got so boring, and she snapped at me, saying that she would rather save up for a nice vacation or go to a music festival or concert or a nice expensive dinner. These things are out of my budget, and a vacation is only a once or twice a year thing anyway. And when we do go on vacation, she'd rather do boring touristy stuff like go to museums or sightsee. I told her that I didn't think I could give her the life she wanted and was used to. She had a very wealthy upbringing, and she called me an idiot and has been acting cold ever since. So, am I the idiot? Edit. When we first started dating when she was still in undergrad, we would go to concerts frequently and have a lot of fun. We have the same goofy sense of humor, and we both like fitness and video games. We both like to travel. But as I said, I can't afford it right now. She's used to going on luxurious vacations abroad with her family that cost about $10,000 to $30,000, and I can't offer the same. I love and care about her, so I want to go out with her. Going out with friends all the time is different. I originally liked how opposite we were because I felt like she brought balance to my life that I needed. But as I'm nearing 30, I regret not doing more in my 20s, and I'm scared of wasting time and not having fun. You are the idiot. She works and is working on a dissertation. That's insanely hard work, like life-consuming work. Of course she's exhausted. You're in your 30s and want to live like a frat boy when she's a grown-up. Honestly, I think you guys probably have different priorities in life and aren't very compatible. Yeah, your girlfriend sounds responsible and motivated. Unfortunately, you sound like you just want to drink and complain that you don't have money to do nice things. Instead of insulting her over her incredibly reasonable boundaries, why not just break up and find a girlfriend more aligned with your life goals? Because he wants a rich girlfriend so he can party as much as he wants, which he can't do without her money paying bills and other adult things. How have you guys managed to be together for this long with such different interests? Things may be coming to a head now. I suggest a grown-up talk with her to see if this will work. Partying till 2 a.m. won't solve these issues, my guy. I'm a single father, 43, to 2 children. Max, nearly adult male, and Liza, preteen female. I usually have Liza in after-school clubs so that I'm able to pick her up after work. However, last evening I was given some work that had me working overtime. I did try my best to negotiate out of it. Still, my manager told me the assignment was to be completed that night, so I just did. It was nearing 6 p.m., and I just knew I wouldn't be able to make it to Liza, so I called Max and asked him to pick her up. He responded by saying that he couldn't because he was on a date with his girlfriend for their 6-month anniversary. I told him that I understood, but needed him to get Liza, and that I'd make it up to him for interrupting. He just angrily turned off the phone, and I thought he had decided to pick her up while he was mad. 30 minutes later, I received a call from Liza's school on where I was because the school was close to closing and no one was there. Luckily, one of Liza's friend's mother said that they'd drop her off, and that was all good. However, I don't really like it when Liza goes with that particular friend, not because of the friend, but because of the mother. She has this habit of asking math questions in the car that she knows Liza cannot answer and then criticizes her over it. It's all just very mean. So I called Max and asked him where he was and that he was in big trouble when he got home. He just told me that he was busy and to leave him alone. He came home at around 9 p.m. I told him he was grounded and wasn't allowed to use the car for 3 weeks. After that, he got all mad and said that it wasn't his fault I was failing as a parent and unable to afford someone to collect Liza. Just want some insight into this situation. Was I being too harsh? And was I the idiot for interrupting his date? Edit. This is the 3rd time I've asked Max to pick up his sister in a year and a half. Some people ask why I don't have a nanny. Money's tight. Max and Liza's mother is not present in their lives. And no, I did not think of socializing myself with the parents at Liza's school. I'm at work most times, so I haven't found time outside of the yearly parent meetings. Not the idiot. You're not failing as a parent. You had to work overtime, not out drinking or screwing off. Your son was in the wrong here for not helping, turning the phone off and calling you out for it. But you two need to talk this out and discuss expectations. If you expect him to be part of the contingency plan. There needs to be crystal clear on that. And what happens to car privies when he doesn't? The son could have scored some points with said girlfriend by stepping up to the ordeal and acting like an adult about it. Like, hey babe, I know it was supposed to be our night out, but my dad is stuck at work and my little sister is stranded, so we gotta go pick her up. I figured we could go grab some ice cream or something, and then watch her face melt off. And if it doesn't, that's probably not gonna be a lasting relationship anyway. Agree. I'm pretty sure a guy who won't be there in an emergency for a little sister won't be there for his partner in an emergency either. This is a really unattractive characteristic for anyone who enjoys dating someone who cares about normal things that normal people care about. OP, you're not the idiot, and I hope you stick to your guns about the car privileges being suspended. His behavior was selfish and disrespectful, and he needs to experience consequences for that. I, 23 female, have been with my boyfriend, 24, for 8 months. We've been living together for the past month, and it's been going great, besides one weird issue that has recently been bugging me. For a little backstory, my boyfriend has a blanket that his dad gave him when he was a child, and ever since we first started dating, I noticed that he was very close to this blanket, but it's a lot more extreme once I started living with him and seeing him all the time besides when he's working. He takes his blanket everywhere, when we cuddle on the couch or the bed, in the kitchen, and sometimes in the car when we go on a road trip. There are times when he would cuddle with this blanket over me, and it's been bugging me. After he gets off work and comes home, he'll get the blanket from the bedroom. I tried talking to him about this, and he told me that I was taking it too personally, and it shouldn't even be an issue. He was at work yesterday, and I decided to hide his blanket in the back of the closet to see if he noticed me or the blanket first. Well, he came around and noticed his blanket was missing. He asked me what happened to it, and I said I wasn't sure, and that I was upset that he didn't even say hi to me first. He ignored me and frantically tried looking for it everywhere, and I told him it wasn't that big of an issue, and it was just a blanket. Finally, he became suspicious and asked me where it was. I gave up and told him that it was in the closet, and I put it there to see if he would notice the blanket before me. We got into an argument, and he said that a blanket shouldn't make me insecure, and he doesn't trust me now. He told me to leave. I left, and now I'm at my sister's house and have been here since last night. My sister's husband thinks I'm an idiot and that it's silly of me to get mad over this. I think it's deeper than that, but I don't know. Am I the idiot? You are the idiot. What is wrong with you? So what if he has a security blanket? It doesn't affect you at all. You know it's valuable to him, so you hid it? Then you got cranky when he was rightfully worried that he couldn't find something he cared about deeply. It's frankly pathetic that you're jealous of a blanket enough to hide it. This is some Saturday morning cartoon level BS. If she's pulling loyalty tests, she's definitely not ready for a relationship. She's jealous of a security blanket. That legit screams insecure, LOL. And I'm hoping he sees this as a red flag. Everyone's the idiot here. You are more than him, because loyalty test and hiding treasured items is just messed up. But unless there is some backstory as to why this blanket is so important, I find it strange that it still needs to be with him almost 24/7 when he's 24. Also, it's crappy to not even greet your SO when coming home and just going straight for this blankie. I agree. He shouldn't be in a relationship if he doesn't greet a human before a blanket. I think there is some extreme object attachment issue with the boyfriend, and he might need to seek psychological help. Instead of getting jealous of the blanket, she should help her boyfriend to find the root of the problem since it has disrupted their life. Or else she should just get out of this relationship because it's also unfair to her how she's valued less than a freaking blanket.